Hello, beautiful people. I'm Chris Maddox, founder of the Wild Woman Project and Wild Woman Fest. And I'm speaking to you today because we always meet like this at new moon time. And the new moon is upon us. So depending upon your time zone, the new moon will arrive on either April 11th or 12th, 2021. So we begin again. Nature is showing us everywhere we look, whether we're looking into a forest or we're looking into the sky at the sun, the moon. We look at the life cycle of a human being or a bird or a plant. What we'll see over and over again is the cyclical nature of things. So every new moon, that is every 29 and a half days, we have the opportunity to begin again, refresh, renew. So this moon cycle is a really special one because here at the Wild Woman Project, we've been in this exploration, asking ourselves like this enormous question, which is, if love is the most powerful force on earth, how do we actually wield it? And we've been looking moon cycle by moon cycle at different aspects of this. How does it work on a collective level? How does it work in our local communities? What does it ask of us? What does it require of us? What new ideas, what new practices are helpful? What old ideas, what old practices are helpful in learning how to wield love as the great and mighty force it is? And as you know from looking around the world, there is an epic battle playing out between love and hate, good and evil, and evil really meaning like hatefulness in action, violence, war, oppression, denigration of people and land. So we need as many of us to be in a loving way as possible. And so I say this moon cycle is special is because we're going to land onto something that I think is really foundational to the practice of loving others and loving collectively and being powerful forces for love in the world. And it's something super, super simple, which is self-love, regard for the self, respect for one's self, and sincere, true, unconditional love for ourselves. So that self-love, the way that we think about ourselves, the way that we talk to ourselves, the way we do or do not respect ourselves, our minds, our hearts, our bodies, our limits, our desires, our process, our many cycles, the way we treat ourselves is the foundation for the way that we treat others. So often I have seen and even experienced for myself personally at certain points in my life, some of the biggest advocates for, a loving revolution have this shadow side of themselves where they are actually unable to cultivate sincere love in their intimate life. So that's the life with the self, life with others, life in the family, life in community. And that's not a judgment on anyone, to love and to love unconditionally and to love sincerely is a practice and it's a gift. And some people were taught this better as young children than other people. And no matter where we are on that spectrum of how well we are able to love others, the first and foremost, beginning of the process of loving others well and loving the world well and being able to come together with other people in a loving way starts with how we are or are not able to feel and experience that sacred thing of self-love and self-respect. So this moon cycle, we're going to think about the way that love for self really kind of illuminates us from the inside. When a person is strong in their self-love, and I don't mean it in the way of sort of narcissistic ego boosting, which really runs rampant, especially in, like modern social media and this thing of like this kind of like showy, acty, play-y thing version of it. I'm talking about something different. I'm talking about something that, like in your darkest hour, in the middle of the night, how are we being toward ourselves? How are we treating ourselves when we are experiencing, like so many of us are experiencing some form or forms of adversity? How do we take care? And this force of unconditional love of the self, the ability to take care of the self and to listen to the self and to consider the self and to respect the self, to trust oneself. All of these things, if we are able to cultivate them in a sincere and deep way, we get to experience this incredibly loving relationship between whatever is our consciousness, our awareness, and ourself, the being that we are, body, mind, heart. And something we talk about pretty extensively in circle leader training, which, by the way, is coming up this spring. We start in May. We still have spots open. But one of the things that we talk about in circle leader training is the way in which the most intimate relationship of our entire life is the relationship we have with ourselves. And that is like this bittersweet thing, depending upon the flavor of that. That's why, we encourage circling up on a regular basis, because it's a space in which you can cultivate your relationship, become aware, I have like an inner guidance, I have an inner voice that I can listen to, that I can over time learn to respect and to trust. And with enough of that, practice and bringing that home with you and bringing it into your day-to-day life, that trust that you cultivate, that love that you cultivate becomes an enormous gift and resource that is totally and entirely free. And if more of us took time to consider how we can love ourselves like a little bit more, that will help us to have relationships with others that are deeply loving. And then that love is flowing, that powerful force has an avenue with which to travel. So I wanted to read to you the quote of our moon cycle, which comes from the great Maya Angelou, one of my personal heroes, and one of the great American poets and thinkers. She wrote or said, "I don't trust people who don't love themselves and tell me I love you. There's an African saying, which is, be careful when a naked person offers you a shirt. So she's pointing to this very thing. And it's really this invitation to ask ourselves this moon cycle, how well are we loving ourselves? And to remember, if we want to be better family, to the great family of things, if we want to be a force of love in the world, it really does start with the self. And that love then becomes a guiding light, lighting up your path every step of the way. That way, moment to moment, you are with a friend. You are always with yourself. You are with a companion who you trust, who you care about. So this moon cycle, our theme is love illuminates. And we're really thinking of this essence of self-love, that piece, that foundational little nugget. So if you would like to explore this further, we have circles happening around the world. Many of them are happening right now in telecircle form, meaning online, mostly through Zoom. So you can find a list of telecircle times, circles that are going on. You'll reach directly out to the facilitators. All of our facilitators are trained through our Circle Leader training program. They're each amazing. You can expect in Circle to do some meditation, do some sharing, do some ritual, and you can really expect to walk away with a sincere intention for yourself. So another way that you can explore this is through Wild Woman School, which I facilitate. The next Wild Woman School is happening on May 4th. The theme is unlocking the power of self-love. And we're going to go deep into this topic. And I'm going to share some pretty personal stories from my own life that have been really helpful. This is, I would say, one of the biggest pieces of a wild woman's spiritual or inner journey is the work towards loving the self and really unlocking the power that it is. So you can join that online from anywhere, choose your own price, scholarships available, link below this video. I'd love to see you there. And finally, this moon cycle, we will begin spring Circle Leader training. So this is a program that we've been running for like 11 years, if you can believe it. And so we do it every spring and every fall. It's all online. It's 7 weeks. And it's a mixture. It's part inner work, personal work in the way of the wild woman. So connecting to the moon, connecting to inner guidance and intuition. And on the other side, on the other hand, it's skill building. So learning how to lead a powerful ritual, how to facilitate a meditation, how to facilitate a circle, how to build your community. So it's a very, very rich experience, and you'll be with women from around the world. We meet for class, we meet for circles. Find the link below this video. We start May 3rd, so if you want a spot, I'd get that soon. So, I am wishing you a sacred new moon time in whatever way that you choose to make that happen. And I encourage you to be in a loving way with yourself to the best of your ability. And there are a lot of resources, that we have here at the Wild Woman Project and that are available, in the world that can really, really help with this. But it is a meaningful quest. The more we love ourselves, the more we are able to love others. Thank you so much for listening today. Happy New Year.